Hi everyone, a very good evening and welcome to yet another Edelweiss Konnect Classroom session. In this session, I am going to talk to you about the relevance, need, importance for us to have a financial goal. Imagine you're running a race without a finish line. Imagine you're traveling across the world without having a final destination. Imagine you're playing football, but there is no goalpost. How would these instances make you feel? Maybe we enjoy it for some time, isn't it? But over a period of time, not knowing where the finish line of a race is makes the race futile. Not knowing the final destination makes most of us perhaps frustrated, even tired with the constant travel. Not knowing where the goalpost is definitely makes the entire exercise of playing football totally worthless, isn't it? But if you actually go to think about it, isn't this exactly what we do with our investments? We all invest, isn't it? We all invest whenever we have surplus money. We think which is the best asset class, best security, which is best positioned to provide returns to us. And basis our understanding, we invest whatever surplus money we have. But the problem is, for most of us, we do not know when and how will we be using this money. We do not know how much would we need in the future for any of our future requirements. So very honestly, investments to start with is a good first step. But then what usually happens is, with that investment is, let's say, suppose you've invested some money and somewhere over the period of your investment journey, you've created certain returns, certain surplus from that investment. And obviously, it gives a good feeling. And we like to see a surplus, and we like to see that our investment decision has actually yielded positive results, and we are seeing the benefit of that. No, usually, then what usually happens is, I start thinking, what should I do? Now that I have some surplus, I think I should be enjoying with that money. So, for example, you may think that, the IPL season is on, so you may want to watch it on a big screen. So you may go and buy a nice big TV. It's holiday season in most parts of the country. You may think that since now I have surplus and we are out of the COVID restrictions and all of that, you may want to go and travel. It's absolutely fine to do all of this. I'm not saying we should not be enjoying our money, don't get me wrong. But was this actually the reason for our investments? And if it was, then please go ahead and do it. But if it wasn't, then what will happen is, I will probably have enjoyed my money now, but later on, when I may be actually needing this money for anything which is important for me, I may unfortunately fall short. Hence, just like other things, it is extremely important for our financial well-being to have a financial goal attached to our investments. It could be anything, right? It could be buying a new high-tech gadget. It could be to redecorate your home. It could be your retirement. It could be your child's education. It could be you want to buy a new car. It could be for your travel purposes. Anything and everything. Doesn't matter. But having a goal gives us a purpose, makes us stay the course, and genuinely, gives us a better opportunity to enjoy our money. So that's going to be my main agenda, or my main purpose or discussion during the course of our program today. This is our broad agenda that we will cover. We will start with what goals are. We will talk about the difference between goals and aspirations. We'll talk about benefits of having goals while investing. We'll talk about how do you set up financial goals, types of goals, and then we talk about three very, very important elements in order to ensure that I reach my goal. One is, ascertaining the level of risk that I need to take. Then we'll talk about asset allocation and the need for rebalancing our portfolio. As usual, at any point in time, if there is anything that, any query that you have, then I'll request you to please put it in the chat box. I will respond to each and every one of them towards the end of our discussion. So on that note, let's move on and let's talk about goals. Goals are nothing but targets, right? How much I need. I mean, it could be for any purpose, isn't it? A financial goal will be a financial milestone or a financial target. How much money do I need and when do I need it in the future? Now, what do these two questions very honestly do? They get a sense of clarity, a sense of purpose. And it very honestly is the most important step in our endeavor to achieve financial freedom and in deciding how do I wish to spend this money in the future. Goals help in instilling financial discipline, and it helps in us making better informed investment decisions. What it also does is, they help us have better control on our financial decisions in future. So for example, when, let's say, you've invested some money and there is some volatility in the investment vehicle or the investment asset class that you've chosen, if you have a goal during even these volatile and uncertain times, then there is a very good probability that what you would do is you would better evaluate and not give in to the fear or panic which may arise due to this enhanced volatility or even normal volatility. There is a higher degree of probability or chance that you would stay the course and give your investment a better evaluation and an even better chance for it to reach and help you achieve that financial goal, which was the reason for your investments. So in that sense, I think having a goal is one of the most important steps for you to not only enjoy your money, but even look at having financial freedom. So how do you set up a goal, right? I mean, that becomes the more important question. And the easiest way is to look at this acronym called SMART. I mean, goals are supposed to be SMART. So what is SMART? SMART basically stands for, S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for achievable, R is realistic, and T is time bound. So let me give you an example. Let's assume, you wish to buy a house, So buying a house is a goal, but is it a specific goal? It's not specific. It's very random, isn't it? I mean, I want to buy a house. So what will be specific? I want to buy a 2-bedroom hall kitchen house in XYZ area. It could be anywhere, where you wish to buy your house. Now this becomes specific. Next is measurable. How will you measure it? You'll measure it by the amount that you need, right? So it could be that I need 2 crores, or I need 3 crores, I need 2.5 crores, I need 4 crores, 6 crores, whatever the amount may be, to buy this 2-bedroom hall kitchen in this XYZ area. Now this becomes measurable. You know the amount, you know what is the reason for it, right? So it becomes measurable. Is it achievable? Now, how will you know whether it's achievable or no? Obviously, that would be decided by, what is your current financial status, what is going to be your investment, and how much time you spend in the market. And there are various factors which will determine if this goal is achievable or not. Similarly, is it realistic? Is it something which over this period of time I can achieve?
or it is something which is way beyond my means. Because if it's way beyond my means, again, what will change is I may start with it, but sooner or later realize that I'm never going to reach there, and then it kind of defeats the purpose of having a goal. So is it realistic, and is it time bound? By when? So I want to buy a 2 BHK, 2-bedroom hall kitchen house in this area, which is going to cost me 2, 3, 4, whatever amount of, 2, 3, 4 crores, whatever amount it may be, by 2030, 2035, by the end of 2030, 2035, or whatever it may be. Now this becomes time bound. I know the time period that I have. So you need to look at your goal in this very, very simple but effective manner. Make it specific, make it measurable, make it achievable, make it realistic, and put a timeline around it. If you are able to do this, believe me, it becomes very, very easy for you to evaluate the progress of your goal, for you to evaluate if there are any specific changes that you need to do, and hence, making your goals. I mean, I'm giving you an example of a financial goal. You could look at, any goal. And if you can break it down and make it a SMART goal, it will give you, very, very simple steps, or, what you need to do. And basis that, then you will create steps on how can you get there. So create a SMART goal. That becomes very, very important. One more thing which I think becomes important to talk about when you're talking about goals is a lot of us, confuse goals and aspirations. Now, goals are non-negotiable, right? You need to get them. Now, aspirations, very honestly, can be of two types. One, I am stretching my goal a bit so that, and pushing myself for a higher notch. So, for example, let's say you need 2 crores for your retirement, or 3 crores for your retirement, or 5 crores for your retirement, depending on what your standard of living is. But you stretch it a bit. So instead of 2, you say, I want to create 2.5 crores. So if there is anything which goes wrong, there will be some kind of cushion that you create. If you need 4 crores, you say not 4, but I want to create 4.5 or 5 crores. Right? Now, what this does, this is a better or higher, plan. And this will then ensure that, that base level, that non-negotiable level is always there. Now, this is one aspiration, which is a good aspiration. The second side of aspirations could be, a hidden or an unplanned desire or agenda. Now, this is usually, a little going off track. So you didn't think of why you're investing, you invest, like I was talking earlier. You didn't think of why you were investing, you invested your surplus. Somewhere you're seeing returns. Basis that return, you decided, oh, I have returns. So now, I had always dreamed of buying this big luxury car. I can see I can afford it now because, the returns have been created. Or, excuse me, I always wanted to, go and spend on this, whatever purchase that you wanted to do. And basis that, you go ahead and make that. Now, this is basically something which was totally unplanned for. And like I said earlier too, now what this actually does is this somewhere, makes you happy at that point in time, because obviously you're enjoying that money, but somewhere for your non-negotiable requirements, because of this, there may be a probability that you don't have enough. And that, may not be a great thing for your future requirements or for your own financial freedom. So differentiate between these. Don't give in to, let's say, your hidden aspirations, unless and until that is what you had thought of. If that was your goal, if that is something which you were very clear of, please go ahead and, I'm not saying that you should not be splurging your money. It is your investments. You have done it. You've stayed the course.
You must enjoy your money, but differentiate between what goals and aspirations are. Get your goals done first, and then look at what could be your desires or aspirations beyond your goals. Some very, very important benefits of having a goal. Okay, one is obviously you identify the amount that you need. Basis this, there is a higher probability that you would choose the right investment products. You would even look at rebalancing, so that you stay the course of the risk that you think you are taking. If you want to know more about rebalancing, we did an Edelweiss Connect Classroom session earlier on rebalance your portfolio. The video is available on our YouTube channel. You could go ahead and look at it. It will be something which will help you in understanding why and how should you be rebalancing. Because you are looking at goals and planning according to what your requirements are. This will also help you avoid getting into the debt trap, because see, like I said, goals are non-negotiable. If I need the money, I need the money. If I have not planned for it, what will I do? I will probably go ahead and borrow, right? But if I had planned for it and I have thought about it earlier, so it could be, let's say, my child's education. I know that when my child is 18 or 21, for his professional education, I would probably need to, shell out an extra sum of money. And basis that I had thought about it earlier and I have prepared and that money is now available, then obviously that helps. But if that money is not available, I would still not compromise on my child's future, right? So I would go ahead and borrow. So in that sense, if I plan better, I will be able to avoid this debt trap. And because I have planned, I have understood the importance of having a goal and staying invested. It would also instill financial discipline, which will obviously help me stay the course. So very, very clear benefits of what can you achieve by having a goal-based investment. How do you do it? Very simple. First step is think about what is that major financial expense that you would have in the future, right? You may not know what future cost is, but you can find out what current cost is. First step. So what is it going to cost you today? Then basis some inflationary numbers, have an idea of what would be that future cost of current expense. Once you know the amount that you need in the future, you devise an investment strategy. And of course, to get there, you need to be disciplined and focused on your financial goal. These are the steps which you need to follow. And moving on to type of goals, there are broadly three types of goals. One is a short-term goal, mid-term goal, or a long-term goal. Short-term goals are usually goals which are less than 2 years in terms of time horizon. Any goal between 2 to 5 years is known as a medium-term goal, and goals which have a time horizon beyond 5 years are usually categorized as a long-term goal, right? So what could be a short-term goal? It could be that you want to buy your next electronic gadget. It could be that you plan for a holiday, in the next year. If you go every year, it would be a recurring expense, but it could be something which could be planned for. So these are short-term goals. Then in medium-term goals, it could be that you want to, buy a car, you want to redecorate your home. These could be some examples of mid-term goals. Similarly, there could be long-term goals like retirement, children education, buying a house, all of these, which probably would be, over 5 years, would be categorized as long-term goals. When you talk of achieving your goals, there are three elements which I said become very, very important in your planning stage. One is understanding the element of risk or decoding the element of risk. Now, risk usually is associated with the probability of loss, either some or all of your original investment, right? And hence, ascertaining what is the level of risk that you're comfortable with? What is the level of risk that you need to take to reach your goal? What is the level of risk which your investments would get exposed to? Becomes a very, very crucial element in terms of, your achieving of your goal, of your financial goal. And, basis whether it is a short-term goal or a long-term goal, usually what you then decide is whether you decide is how much of volatility can your investments absorb. So usually short-term goals, you would not want to invest in highly volatile investment instruments. For long-term goals, you may be okay with absorbing some kind of volatility and investing in some volatile instruments. As what we've seen over a long period of time, the volatility kind of gets ironed out and reduced, and over the long term, these investments may work in your favor in terms of ensuring that you are able to create the future value that you need for your investments. So that's the first step. The second step is basis the risk and the time that you're going to spend, and the goal that you have is to create an asset allocation strategy. Now, asset allocation basically is talking about how do you divide your investments into the various asset classes that are available for investments for you to reach your financial goal. What percentage of money should you invest in equity or equity related instruments? What percentage of money should you invest in fixed income instruments? What percentage of money should you invest in any other asset class, like let's say gold or or real estate or any other, right? All of these questions get responded to if you are able to successfully create an asset allocation strategy basis your goal, your risk tolerance, and your investment horizon. It is indeed one of the most important decisions that you as an investor would make in order to ensure that you would be able to reach your financial goal and achieve that financial freedom that you planned for, that you wanted to. And lastly, so once you do your risk assessment, once you understand and deploy an asset allocation strategy, it becomes very, very important to also, periodically look at rebalancing your portfolio. Now, why is this important? Because, over a period of time, what could happen is, if you don't do anything, it could mean that your investments in your volatile, asset class may probably have given you some returns, because of which your asset allocation kind of gets distorted. So let's say you started with 50-50, in 50% in equity and 50% in fixed income, just giving you a simple example. And after 2 or 3 years, you may realize that, the equity investment has given you returns, because of which this has become 60%. And your fixed income in your total investment portfolio is now only 40%. Now, if something at that point in time happens because of which perhaps there is excess volatility, then there may be a correction. That you may not find very comfortable. So if you can periodically rebalance, let's say once a year, or when you're closer to your goal, most definitely, if you've not done before that, it will ensure that you stay in the asset class mix, which is comfortable, wherein you can absorb if there is anything volatile, or if there's anything uncertain over there, because in that sense, rebalancing ensures that I'm in the mix which is giving me some kind of comfort, wherein I have understood what is the risk element or the level of risk that I can take,
And basis that created this asset allocation strategy, and I'm staying true to it. So rebalancing is a very important step in terms of ensuring that I am in that zone wherein I am having a level of comfort in terms of the risk that my investments are getting exposed to. And finally, if I were to conclude, as last few things, first step, think of your future requirements, analyze and ascertain the risk that your investments will get exposed to in order to ensure that you reach your goal. Create an asset allocation strategy, do a periodic rebalance, be patient, and enjoy reaching your goal. So this is what I had predominantly to share. And if there are any queries and questions, I would like to take them now before we can end our meeting discussion on this topic today. Once again, if there are any questions, I'll request you to put it in the chat box, and I'll be more than happy to respond to them before we can end our meeting and discussion on this topic today. Okay, I guess there are no questions. I hope that we have been able to enhance your understanding on your reason and importance to have a financial goal. And whatever your current investments may be, whatever you're planning in terms of your future investments, I would humbly request you and advise you to think of a reason for that investment. Create a smart goal with that investment that you're making, and stay the course over the period of time. Create an asset allocation strategy, stay the course, rebalance, and maybe all achieve financial independence, financial freedom by ensuring that we reach for our financial goals. So on that note, thank you very much for your time. I hope that this was something which helps you enhance your knowledge like I shared. And thank you once again. See you. Bye-bye.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.